Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to Look Back, where I go back and take a look at reviews that I did 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years ago this week. And hey, it's almost the end of the year, but let's go back and see what I think about these games now, if I think about them at all. So a year ago, I reviewed a very interesting game called Box One. In fact, it's still for sale. I just saw it in Target the other week. This is a one-player game, although you can play it with more people if you want to, but it's hard to explain without spoiling it, but it's kind of an escape room style game that looks kind of silly at first, but the game gets more and more involved, and I found it to be very interesting. 8 out of 10. Role Player Adventures, the kind of a sequel to Role Player, a big adventure game. It has a few problems. There's a few test things I didn't like, but great story and a great experience. We had a lot of fun. 8 out of 10. Vagrant Song, fantastic experience where you are rescuing lost souls. Really cool theme, cool mechanisms. 9 out of 10. Yummy Yummy Monster Tummy. I'm giving this one a 9.5, and I might even, you know what? I'm just going to change it right now. I'm going to give this one a 10. This is such a good game. Such a fantastic kids game, but I like playing it with my son. We play it all the time, where you're scanning colors and trying to make these colors combine to make a certain color. It's such a simple game with an app, but it works so well. And then Dune Imperium Rise of Ix. This is actually a 2022 game, but we played it early, I suppose. The first expansion for Dune, I still think it's really, really fantastic. 9.5. All right, let's jump back 5 years ago. Tesla vs. Edison Duel. I really like the theme of Tesla vs. Edison. The big game of this, Tesla versus Edison, was not that great. The duel, terrible. 4 out of 10. Fast Forward Flee. Friedman Freeze made a bunch of games fast forward where you would play a whole bunch of little games in a row and just keep playing them over and over again. I tend to like them. Fast Forward Flee, though, is a cooperative game and kind of breaks the mold where it's this hefty puzzle, and I didn't particularly like it. 5 out of 10. Cover Me, a game about making magazine covers. It's not a bad theme, actually, but the game itself isn't very good. 5 out of 10. Word Rush. This is a party game where you're flipping a timer. And so the longer I take to give a clue to answer a question, the more time I'm giving you. That's okay. 6 out of 10. Newsfjord. This is a Uwe Rosenberg game about fishing, and there's a stock market in it. It's good, but you know, I found that I don't pull this one out as often as the other Rosenberg, so I dropped it from a 7 to a 6.5. Amun-Re the card game. This is not as good as Amun-Re. There's actually Amun-Re the dice game, and Amun-Re the card game. But Amun-Re is a fantastic game. Amun-Re the card game, still pretty good, but I'd still rather play the board game. 7 out of 10. Fairy Tale. This is from Matthew Dunstan and Brett Gilbert, about you're moving a princess, a dragon, and a prince, I think, or there's 3 different things you're moving. You're just trying to move into certain spots that you can score points. It's kind of an interesting take on the pattern matching genre from Yellow Games. 7 out of 10. Otis, man, this game is gorgeous as you're diving down looking for relics of the past, our present. It's good. 7 out of 10. Catan, Game of Thrones, Brotherhood of the Watch. It's a lot of words. I'm not a huge fan of Catan these days. I think it's a great game for many people. I just don't enjoy it as much. This one's a little better than the rest. 7 out of 10. Kitchen Rush. I dropped this one from 7.5 to 7. That's because Hospital Rush I like much, much more. They took some of the things that I didn't like as much in Kitchen Rush and made them better, but still, it's a speed game where you're trying to complete as many orders as you can. It's still a fine game. Alexandria, a game about a burning library, or you're trying to stop the burning in a library. It's a cool artwork in this one. Good theme. 7.5. Fast Forward Fear. So we're talking about the fast forward games. This one I like a lot. It's kind of a riff on Uno to many degrees, but this playing a bunch of little games over and over again, I just found it to be a lot of fun. An 8. Majesty for the Realm. This is a game that I often pull out at conventions that other people have not heard of or played, but I really enjoy this one as there's cards out there and you're collecting the various cards. It's a very simple, quick game. It's almost, if you like Splendor, I think you would like this game. 8 out of 10. Dinosaur Island. This is a 9 out of 10. Really just think it's a fun game. Dinosaur World. I thought I liked that more than Dinosaur Island, but as time goes by, I think Dinosaur Island is the better game. And then Pulsar 2849, I originally gave this an 8.5, but it is to a 9, folks. What a great game. One of my favorite designers. This is kind of themeless, but the drafting of dice and using them to do different actions, just really, really well done. 10 years ago, I reviewed Ricochet Rock Jockeys. It's terrible. 2 out of 10. My Word, a Reiner Knizia word game. Collecting letters. Meh. I gave it a 4.5. Pajaggle. This is a game in which you have these little gears, and you're trying to put them in different spots. It almost reminds me of the old game Perfection, but they're much harder to see. There's really not much of a game in it. It's maybe a fun puzzle for a minute. 5 out of 10. 1969. I really wanted to like this game. It's about the moon landing, but it's so on rails, I can't really recommend it at all. 5.5. Iota, a little mini card game. You're placing them down. Very tiny game. That's fine. 6 out of 10. Disaster Looms. Disaster's coming to Earth. You need to get everyone off. This is the game that Ricochet Rock Jockeys was bundled with. I think it was a Kickstarter upgrade, which was just terrible. Disaster Looms was okay. 6 out of 10. Sugar Gliders. This is from Nestor and Nestor Games, although they've recently, they re-upped it, made it a nicer version. It's an okay little abstract game. 6 out of 10. Coup. Some people love Coup. Basically, you lie to other people or you don't. And that's fine. It's back and forth. 7 out of 10. I enjoy it, but I don't love it as much as other people because I play it, I have a lot of fun, and then I'm ready to move on to something else. Glory to Rome. Oh, bring on the hate. I'm only giving this one a 7. I enjoy it, and I liked it when I first played it, and I still like playing it. Some people love it, and that's fine. I know a lot of people, it's a game, some people's favorite game. A lot of cool ideas in here. It does a riff on the Puerto Rico. I pick an action, everyone else gets to do that same action. There's some really cool ideas in this. Unfortunately, there's not, in my opinion, a very good version of Glory Rome. There's the gaudy artwork from the first one, and then the black box, which is very abstract. I wish there was something in the middle. Construction Zone. This is a game from Brain Games that I enjoy. It's a 7 out of 10. You're building things, but it's like a deck builder, but it's a single deck that everyone has. And this concept I found to be really interesting. In fact, I thought it was so interesting, I tried to design a game based on it that did not work. Battle Chaos. This is from Z-Man Games, just basically putting tiles down and have your troops outbeat your other troops. It's an interesting idea. It's another game that I've tried to make variants of. Spot It. I'm raising Spot It from a 6 to a 7 because I found such success. Turn over 2 cards, find the same picture on both. There's so many different versions of Spot It. It sold millions of copies. It's good. The Resistance Avalon. So this one I gave a 7.5 to. I like the Resistance. I think it's a fun game. I think I like Avalon. I probably like Avalon a little bit better. I like the addition of Merlin knowing who the bad guys are, but can't give out too much information. And then they're trying to find Merlin at the end of the game. That little swing, I think, is very fun. And so I give a 7.5 to, and then Kingsburg. Kingsburg, dice placement game. This game still holds up a decade later. Well, it's more than a decade since it's come out. I really enjoy it. So 9 out of 10. That's it, folks. Those are the reviews that I did a year, 5 years, and 10 years ago. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time.